So I would say, based on my experience, and there's a lot of academic research and studies which would back all of this up actually, because there's been so many studies done, is that there are many, many factors feeding into extremism. And it is a human phenomenon. It's not unknown, and it's actually, sadly, not that unusual, because we see lots of types of extremism. We see it in all religions and all types of politics, and we see so many conflicts around the world. But there are a number of factors. So one of them is a grievance or grievances, and that's often personal. So you've been the subject of racism or racist attacks or discrimination of some form, or you feel that your people, your community, are subject to discrimination or they're under attack. And it's natural for human beings to be tribal. I believe human beings are tribal in the sense that we form associations with people we like or who are of similar background or see eye to eye. And that's actually a positive thing, to feel part of a community or group or tribe. But it has a downside, which can be if you become too tribal, and then you hate every other tribe or every other group, and it becomes us versus them. There's often trauma involved with people who are vulnerable to extremism. It's often personal trauma. For me, that would be experiencing racism and violent racism growing up in London, but also a degree of violence at home, mosque and school even. I mean, you know, the prep school I went to in London, the private schools I went to for secondary school, had the cane and the slipper still in the 80s. We were brought up with a threat of violence at school, at British schools, but also actually at home in Moscow. That was a different generation, where they used to use a stick at the mosque actually also to teach Quran. So we were sadly used to violence, and therefore it was easier for us to justify violence against other people whom we sadly dehumanize. So often the attraction to violence is a result of trauma. You often have charismatic recruiters. The founder and leader of our group in Britain was a very charismatic individual who, by the way, now does the same kind of work as we do in countering extremism. He went through a similar journey. He fought jihad in many countries, but became disillusioned with the hypocrisy of many of the fighters and speaks out against it. So charismatic recruiters. And also I would say you have to be strong-willed actually. And in my experience I would say most extremists are well-intentioned. They want to defend themselves, they want to defend their family or their group, whether it's their religion or their political tribe. It could be the white race or the black race, it could be the Muslims or the Jews or the Christian. They want to defend their people. What happens is often they have a warped religious and political ideology, often where conspiracy theories feed into it, which gives them a very skewed and warped view of reality or the world as it is. And they often go around thinking that everybody who's different to them or outside their group is their enemy. And that's really the problem. I would say most extremists are actually well-intentioned, but they if they have vulnerabilities, they can be led astray. And that's why we have to be very on the guard always, actually.